You know, in many instances, you can just kind of see it in the eyes that people are not all right.
I bet if you ask Charlie now if he thought a few deaths so that everybody got to keep their second.
Yeah, the left is losing it, to say the least. As of course, now we have their new Halloween costumes that are out, and really are just disgusting. All of this as now new evidence is mounting and being collected on Tyler Robinson, as we just had an official procedural hearing, as well as a new bombshell drop by Turkey Tom that just released the Charlie Kirk's assassin Discord logs with the furry boyfriend, highlighting some very interesting conversations and highlights a picture into a lot of the kind of questions that a lot of us are still asking. All of this, as I think there still is a lot of really kind of worrying, concerning things that really need to be solved. Will they? Well, Steve Bannon just dropped another bombshell after talking about specifically how he doesn't believe the official version of events here, as now people are allegedly being told by the FBI to delete the video footage of what they saw during that particular day. Is that true? We're going to be going over that and a lot more, as well as all the latest, most important conversations surrounding Tyler Robinson, the Discords, the furry boyfriend, new Fox News appearances, and a lot more that we're going to be talking about in this independent media outlet. If you appreciate these types of conversations, subscribe, click the notification button. We greatly appreciate all the time that you guys, of course, spend with us. As Jeremy from the Quartering wrote this post saying, yeah, these people are literally going as Charlie's dead corpse, of course, for Halloween. Insensitive, yeah. But also highlighting a scenario and situation where it's about sending a message. It's about rubbing it in the right-winger's face. It's about saying, yeah, you guys are worried about the high ground. You guys are worried if you could say learn to code or not. Meanwhile, we're taking celebratory cycles and runs around you in the culture war. Now, again, it doesn't speak for the whole left, but it is highlighting the kind of disgusting nature of some people here that clearly weren't raised right, don't have good morals, and are, of course, just outright bad people that choose to, of course, be the most disgusting people that they choose to be. Now, we live in America. You have a right to express yourself, even if it's distasteful. As now, a lot of those actions are kind of muting the conversation about what's really happening in this country, as there are new videos, new photos being produced saying, wait, what if this Tyler Robinson guy wasn't the guy that actually did everything that he is accused of? As, of course, now with the official court proceedings, we will hopefully be seeing a lot of the evidence presented. We will be seeing the court decide to hopefully leave the cameras on. As right now, there are a lot of people in this case that are being gagged and prevented from speaking. What will the lawyers be presenting? What will they be saying to the general public? Well, they can't say anything. As of course, right now, the judge says that he's worried about making sure that there is a non-biased jury poll here. And with the way that things are going in our society, that's going to be a little bit difficult, as of course everyone has heard about this particular case here, as Tyler Robinson's legal counsel now was just approved to go through the prosecution's case files, inspecting all of the physical evidence that was seized by law enforcement. Now, law enforcement allegedly has palm prints, DNA. There was a note that it looks like the furry boyfriend destroyed somehow, if we're going to believe the latest type of allegations. And in these kind of procedural hearings, we didn't really hear much except how to kind of handle the situation, how to move forward. And then, of course, there will be a jury selected, and then the case will be heard. Now, the judge also soon will be ruling whether or not there'll be video cameras. Personally, I wasn't a fan of the gag order, but a judge found that important in order to, quote, make sure that they have a jury. Now, a lot of people are saying, look, I know people want to make sure that this trial goes off with a bang, but a lot of other people are saying, well, there's a lot of other things happening behind the scenes here that I think are more important to kind of delve out to give people an overpreponderance of proof and evidence. Now, we're also finding out, according to Jesse Waters, that Erica Kirk will be sitting down at a primetime Fox News interview, her first interview since the assassination of her husband, Charlie Kirk. It's going to be interesting to see what she is going to be saying here, what the interview is going to be focused on. As, of course, even individuals like Candace Owens came out and said, look, if Erica Kirk wants me to stop, I'll stop. As now, we have the latest from an alleged Discord log. Now, it's important to note here that these dislogs weren't independently verified. They were sent by someone who allegedly was there to Turkey Town. That's all we know. And in these Discord logs, we get a viewpoint into the lives of Tyler Robinson, into the lives of the furry boyfriend that a lot of people are saying was grooming Tyler, who wasn't into allegedly dudes, but the two got drunk and there was alcohol and there was other substances involved here that ended up with them kind of being together. And then in these text messages, there are some things that do correlate, allegedly. Now, if this is independently verified, fine. We don't know that yet, but let's just, take it on face value. That do corroborate some of the weird kind of text message conversations that the FBI released that people still question. Here's a small bit of it.
Tyler moved in with Lance because he just dropped out of college and was tired of living with his parents. He had been working with his dad at a stone cutting business where they'd install countertops. Tyler was kind of your normal blue-collar Utah guy. Most conversations with him, he'd talk hunting, camping, gaming, and he loved to talk about fishing. Now,
and according to the Discord logs, he wasn't really political until Donald Trump won the presidential election. And then they started to share anti-religious sentiments and sentiments against right-wing type of ideology and Donald Trump's kind of initiatives here. The trans furry boyfriend here clearly looks like a lot of the kind of catalyst behind this type of alleged radicalization that led up to this type of case and scenario, allegedly according to this Discord logs. Now, there's also the use of alcohol, the use of vapes, the use of unknown kind of marijuana products, and then conversations that, of course, involve trans people in sports and then not liking people who are religious. Now, before playing more of the type of assessment and analysis here, because there's a lot to go over, including
places,
the alleged text messages where he confirmed this and talked about other stuff. We wanted to, of course, before getting into all that, tell you about TakeCalm.com. We only have a few of them left. We don't have much. Be careful where you source your products, especially if they're things like CBD. A lot of them, if you get them at the gas station, you don't know where they're getting what you're getting. A lot of times it makes people loopy, messes with their heads. Ours is just CBD grown in America, produced in America, and it's some of the top quality stuff that predominantly is there to be an anti-inflammatory, a calming agent to help people deal with anxiety. And a lot of people believe it has a lot of other type of major properties that, of course, you can't mention when talking about this type of particular stuff. I remember talking about this stuff for a very long time. It is the healing property of this plant that has done wonders for some people. Will it help you? I don't know. Do your own homework and research, but you're getting a high quality premium type of product here by supporting us at the same time. And you're getting a good product that, of course, won't mess with your head here. As there was also significant conversations about a lot of substance abuse by the furry boyfriend, who looked like he was a lot more active than Tyler Robinson on these Discords, as it looks like that they were also, that this furry boyfriend was also taking weird hormones from black markets. Yes, you heard that correctly. Weird hormones from black market sites, which, especially if you're young and you're being developed, screws with your head. It also talks about how Tyler Robinson was essentially the handler for this furry guy through these discords, if you believe him, if you choose to believe him. That does make sense here. And it looks like there was a lot of kind of self-destructive behavior, not just substance abuse, but also living in squalor, living in filth. And then, of course, we have them talking about them wanting to participate in the No King's Day protest. And, of course, this was the interesting aspect of it, too, is, of course, in these chat rooms, Tyler Robinson says, "my love" to the furry boyfriend, which he also did in those text messages that were released by the FBI with people saying, now it's proof that it's exactly them. There's also people saying, he said vehicle when he was stopped a couple years ago in a traffic stop. And I'm like, regardless of that, the text messages still, in my opinion, are strange, even though now they're correlated with this predominantly because of just the kind of confession that happened there. As right now, we have a lot of other strange things, but Steve Bannon doesn't believe that he acted alone, and those text messages kind of highlighted that possibility. Here's another part of the video that I found interesting. Again, Turkey Tom released a 47-minute video. You actually are able to download the alleged discords here and get to see them yourselves here.
Fraction of the full extent of his communications with it. Lastly, we have Lance inviting everyone in his server to attend the anti-Trump No Kings protest. Over the previous half a decade worth of Discord messages, nothing from Lance comes even close to as clear of a political expression as this. As far as Tyler's presence in Lance's server, one of the last messages I was able to find of his was sent in August, where he simply says, "I am very ill." Within a month of this message, the tragic day of September 10th comes around, and the following day, Tyler sends his confession message to their old friend group server. It's interesting to me that he sent it in this server and not to Lance's new server, because I'm not sure why that is. It could just be that he was less familiar with the people there, but based on the kind of messages sent there, which we're going to go over later, it could...
And this was the message that was already released that you're seeing here on screen, that people were saying, oh, look, Discord acted weird throughout all of this. But people were saying, well, this seems like someone else is again confessing for him. There allegedly also was an audio call. Those audio calls weren't recorded. As now the question remains, does the NSA or Discord potentially have these audio calls where allegedly Tyler Robinson went on these calls and then confessed again?
It could be that he wanted to avoid having anyone say something that resembled support for his actions. In the original...
That seems like a weird type of scenario, especially when you're dealing with like a kind of what we hear about, a high IQ kind of autistic
group chat, one of the most prominent users replied, saying this: "Hey everyone, if you haven't seen the news yet, Tyler's post above is true. He was taken into custody earlier today for the shooting of Charlie Kirk. Regardless of the horrible actions that took place, we must take this moment to remember that God is a living and loving God who loves all his children. God calls sinners to be his saints, and I ask that you all take a quiet moment to pray for Tyler and his repentance. While Charlie Kirk's politics were not acceptable to some, I ask that we all say a prayer for him and his family during these confusing times. Love you all. God bless." Given the clearly religious...
Yeah, that's allegedly what was done in the transcripts. A far more kind of a comprehensive picture and landscape, as a lot of people are saying, this is proof. Is it proof? I mean, there's still a lot of questions that I think are important to ask. There were out-of-state plates that were seen at their residences 2 weeks before. There's still the question about where this furry boyfriend is right now, as a lot of people are saying he is in protective custody, that he will be testifying against Tyler Robinson. Again, New York Post reporting neighbors saw several people driving cars with out-of-state license plates going in and out of the Tyler Robinson and furry boyfriend apartment 2 weeks before Charlie was assassinated. I want to still know what was going on here. Steve Bannon came out and is now saying, I don't think this guy acted alone. And I don't think he did. He could have had other left-wing cooperators. He could have had other people that assisted him, joined him in these kind of heinous acts here, whether they're left-wing groups, whether it's government groups, whoever it might be, I still think something is off here that we do not know yet. But this is what Steve Bannon articulated himself.
I don't believe the narrative coming out about Charlie Kirk, right? I think that's all going to be laid out about exactly what happened, because I do believe there was some conspiracy in back of it. And he was assassinated in cold blood in front of the whole world. There's a lot of people on the left that think that's a good thing, and you took out one of their key people. So when I look at violence, we're not violent at all. Charlie Kirk happened, what we had, people said the rosaries and had prayer meetings. We understand that we have not just political power, we have massive political power if we turn out. And I tell the elites all the time, you're going to have two choices. You're going to have two choices. You're either going to have, and I've said this for years, you're either going to have the Luigis or this kid that supposedly shot Charlie Kirk and all this violence you're seeing going on, or you're going to have to make fundamental changes to the system. And if you don't make fundamental changes to the system, you're going to get the French Revolution.
Yeah, this is why, because some people are saying, look, I know you're calling for the FBI to be more transparent and accountable and release more information. They want to make sure that this trial goes on. And this is why people are saying, you don't deserve anything. You don't need anything. I get that. But we have to understand, we're in an extraordinary situation, as Steve Bannon is describing, that I think deserves this type of due diligence. Now, how is that going to change the scenario and situation? I mean, we could wait until the jury gets selected, but I think being able to have video cameras in the courtroom to see the proceedings, to see the evidence laid out in front of us, because we know the FBI has a lot more than they release. Why did they release some of it, if not all of it? That's what some people are asking themselves. Some people are saying you don't deserve anything. I'm saying this is an extraordinary type of moment that all of us are kind of dealing with here. And this is why individuals like Steve Bannon are saying, look, read the temperature in the room. It's hot. And we need the receipts. And Steve Bannon is critical. I'm critical of a lot of this stuff too.
Just like whoever assassinated Charlie Kirk, and I don't believe the official story right now. Do you?
And again, listen, lots of people don't. As now, there's also a witness coming forward and saying that the FBI is telling him to delete footage of the incident that he filmed during that day, as the FBI is saying that the video footage, quote, could trigger PTSD. As agents allegedly now called this guy a multiple amount of times, as this guy says he archived the footage and then he released it, and then he came out with a video saying, I was told to delete the video footage. Now, this is Ryan Simmons. Do you believe this guy? Do you not believe this guy? It is kind of weird for the FBI to say, hey, just give me the footage, right? That's okay. But then saying, delete it. All right. We want to protect the emotions of people. Now, I get it. Like, the left has their kind of rallying call. The left already has the images and the photos. And listen, I just think that's a mean argument. I think we have to stop caring about people's feelings. I know a lot of people are emotionally involved here. A lot of people are very sensitive about this particular story. I mean, I am too. Like, I want the truth. I want to make sure this never, ever happens again. But it's a bad look if this is true, because these are allegations made by Ryan Simmons. Now, if these allegations are true, this is a bad look for the FBI saying, delete your footage. What? Why? Now, there's some theories that are just wacky and crazy. There's some people saying there's no way Tyler Robinson could break down the rifle within a few seconds. I don't think he even did that. I think the official version of events are still kind of conflated because of the poor handling of the FBI from the very beginning. As, listen, the FBI didn't really treat this situation that well in the beginning stages by saying we caught the guy and then we didn't. There's a guy who demonstrated how he was able to take down the rifle within a few seconds. There's also a lot of people saying, oh, in that video when he jumps off the roof, there's no rifle in there. There's other people who committed similar kind of tests and actions by putting something very similar to the rifle. Then they jumped off the roof. Again, the FBI should have released the full video footage of this just to have an open and shut case here. Again, we'll see what they say. We'll see what kind of information. But when you're dealing with the grainy footage from that far away, many people did this test too, and they're like, yeah, it adds up. It looks almost exactly the same, just like it does. Now, the FBI also allegedly has palm prints, DNA, and cell phone data tracking information of Tyler Robinson concludes that he was there. Now, again, some people earlier today are like, he's not there. He was walking here. Again, that could be someone that is just coincidentally out of those hundreds of people here dressed very similar to him. Again, we need a full, all-out type of timeline, and I hope we get it. Without compromising the criminal court case, of course. There's other people saying Charlie's chief of staff here. There's something going on with him, and I'm like, I don't think it was Charlie's people, to be quite honest with you. And there's a lot of theories saying, a lot of them are just a little bit too much. I get when it comes to asking questions, but I think a lot of the questions have been debunked. I think a lot of the questions are coming from a lot of the crazier, more kind of insane people being spotlighted and highlighted a little bit too much. Do I still have questions? Absolutely. Should you have questions? Yes. Should we call for accountability, transparency, and get all the information out? Yes. Could there be a bigger story here, a bigger conspiracy? Yes. I think there is. I think there was absolutely more than one person involved here. How is the furry person involved here? Were there other people involved here? I don't know. It's going to be up for the authorities to provide information and disprove all of this. And I think it's more important than ever because we're living in this type of moment in time and day where, holy cow, the stakes couldn't be any higher. The situation couldn't be any more serious, especially with the kind of civil strife and a horrible type of situation that we are in politically. That's my assessment. If you think I'm right, share this video. Check out some CBD on TakeCalm.com. I'm going to be here for you guys doing that and supporting this independent media organization. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more. All here exclusively on YouTube.com/WeAreChange.